All right, issue 7. So this is actually one last one done by Gail Simone, and then there's different artists or different writers for each subsequent one. So we see what's his face, not Deadpool, Alex Hayden, retrieving panties for an obsessive compulsive guy that has hired him, who has not obsessive compulsive. He has a condition where everything is kind of like a kink to him, like just absolutely everything just seems amazing and awesome. It's I think it might be sort of a real condition or not, but at Agency X there is this one shot of some music that came in the mail for Deadpool, or sorry, for Alex Hayden. And interestingly enough, they're all German and Austrian composers. Meanwhile, Taskmaster, there's a running joke that he listens to Spice Girls. Like he has a solo album by Mel B. I don't even think that's real. I don't know if any of them had solo albums beyond Ginger Spice, but I don't know. Anyways, I thought that was a funny little side thing. Outlaw shows up at some point. Outlaw and Taskmaster were at each other's throats. He finds out the person that stole the panties was another person with the same condition. And Deadpool, although they fight for a little bit, Deadpool eventually tries to say, you guys should just, you guys are perfect for each other. Why don't you just team up? And if you're so similar and had similar struggles, why don't you just team up and then you both have the collection? And they're like, what a great idea. That's wonderful. You've helped us find love. And they're like, oh crap, the bomb's, you pressed against the bomb. And then it blows up and everything goes horribly wrong. I think he still gets paid. Taskmaster and what's her face? Outlaw. I forget. I absolutely forget what's... Oh, that's what it was. So he does this one last mission and he's like, hey guys, all of us team together, it's gonna be great. And Taskmaster's like, yeah, I'm out, I'm leaving town. And Outlaw's like, I gotta head to Texas because my father passed away and I gotta go to his funeral. I'm out too. Good luck. And it's just kind of this bit of a bummer ending, but it's still Sandy and the Invisible Girl. But that's kind of it kind of has an ending feel because that was the last issue for several in a row that was done by Gail Simone, because she did the last 5 issues of the Deadpool original run. The next 2 issues are written by I guess we'll call him a fill-in, because it's only for 2 issues. Bobby Scalera, who wrote some of the earlier stuff that we had talked about in episode 7 of this. So completely different. I think some of the members of the Udon animation team are still involved, just not the main team itself. So we're left with a really kind of dark story, or at least it's not even a dark story. It's just, it has like violence that's just horrific. Like there's a guy who gets his hand cut off and it's treated like it's nothing. This woman has hired Deadpool to find the Invisible Man, and who better really? He finds the Invisible Man. There's, but he's gonna get away. The Invisible Man's claiming he's completely innocent. He didn't do any kidnapping that he's being accused of. Deadpool's curious. He goes back. The woman says she's the daughter of the Invisible Man. Her henchman that he cut off the hand of just has a hook. At the end of the scene, he cuts off his other hand. And it's just disturbing. That's like, there's something that bugs me about seeing the actualization of someone going around has hooks for hands for the rest of their life because someone was just being kind of funny or weird in their office. Like, I don't know, there's something disturbing about that to me. And maybe the animation too. But chases the Invisible Man down to a convenience store and blows it up at the very end. But of course, if it's a 2-parter, did he really get him? No. So he's definitely incapacitated the Invisible Man in some way. He's covered in some stuff. He's like, "Oh, you blew my hand off," and he's like, "Wait a minute," and he pours some more stuff. I'm like, "No, I didn't." So he's definitely a liar. So can you really trust if he's innocent? This Christine, so he dresses the Invisible Man up like a girl, because what else would you do? And he's given him like 24 hours to prove his innocence. So they're going on a bit of a road trip. It looks like he tries to escape a couple times. At some point, there's a flashback explaining what happened, and you find out he didn't. When he became invisible, he actually made his daughter invisible too, so that they wouldn't kill her, and she's had to put makeup on for her whole life. How her henchman is firing a gun with two hooks for hands, I don't think that can happen. But anyways, they all argue she's actually kind of just the bad person. He didn't kidnap anyone. She's saying he kidnapped her childhood, and like he did everything he could to protect her, really. But, now she has to put makeup on. But she became a multi-millionaire makeup company owner. So, at the end of the day, I think Deadpool just escapes with the guy that he cut the hands off and sort of apologizes and gives him money, gives him his taste of the take. And that was just 2 issues of... I keep saying Deadpool, sorry. Agent X, that was just 2 issues of... but we're made to believe it's Deadpool. That was just 2 issues done by Buddy Scalera. The next 2 issues are by yet another writer, Evan Dorkin? Yeah, Evan Dorkin, sorry. Evan Dorkin, and he does an interesting one of those things where... Well, we'll get to it in just a moment, but it's one of those reach back to find a character that everyone's forgotten about in the Marvel universe and make a story from them. But it's a one-shot character. So Deadpool... Actually, it's not Deadpool. He's hanging out with Taskmaster. And he gets a call from Sandy, who's animated very differently now. She has a hit that she was doing. She needs to shoot this guy, but he's like got a teddy bear, and for some reason she just can't do it with the teddy bear in the bed. So Alex Hayden does it for her. They end up sleeping together. Meanwhile, he was supposed to be sort of having a thing going on with Outlaw. So that's kind of messed up that he slept with Sandy. But finds out they didn't do the hit right, and Sandy gets kidnapped for not doing the hit right. Turns out the guy that he went to kill is Fight Man, who is unkillable. And he's kind of not being a jerk about it. He's like, I tried to kill myself many times, and other people have, and got in trouble, got sent to prison for something, and I just haven't really used my powers since, so... The whole issue is Deadpool trying to find interesting ways to kill him and throw him off of stuff and throw him in an acid bath and throw him off of buildings and bridges and all that stuff. And eventually he's like, well, why don't I just get you to help me go kill that woman? I like you. He ends up liking Fight Man too much by the end of it. So he's like, well, let's just go kill your wife who hired us to kill you and go save Sandy. So what ends up happening is this weird, ridiculous issue in which Fight Man and Alex Hayden are off to save Sandy, and they're being attacked by something like 50 just ridiculous bad villains that probably some of them were just made up on the spot. Bad villains with bad names. And it's just kind of a really silly issue. Yeah. And I can't even remember what the plot twist was, but Fight Man was a one-shot from 1993, and for some reason he's in here, and he's just obnoxious and annoying, and somehow Sandy finds a way to stop him. The wife is trying to use the power of like 5 different superheroes to combine together to make her super strong, but they end up getting rid of her and knocking down a building and crushing him with a building, because according to the only issue of Fight Man, that is how Fight Man can be killed. And that's how that weird 2-issue, very self-contained story went. It was okay. Just okay. The next issue, and he still has the previously on, is actually written by Daniel Way, who we will be covering in another, I don't know, like 10 episodes from now. Or no, probably more than that. Either way, Daniel Way ended up writing the whole, like, the second longest run of Deadpool, from 2008 to 2012, 63 issues, plus some extras. Yeah, so something like 65 issues. So he almost reached, like he was definitely the guy that wrote it for the longest, and a lot of the inspiration for many incarnations of Deadpool are from stuff that he wrote. So Deadpool can't. And also we're seeing more of him sitting on the couch. Oh, sorry, Alex Hayden sitting on the couch watching TV, changing channels, not liking anything. His place gets blown up from this guy, and this guy has kidnapped him and cut him up. Not because he wants to harm Deadpool, but as we find out later, there's a big reward for killing someone, and he doesn't want Alex Hayden with his healing factor to be the one that kills that guy. So he gets excited when he finds out just how much money there is to get this guy. I think he shows up as a clown and ends up assassinating the other guy, but in the process he makes sure he blows up the building. So he has a bomb hidden inside of his arm or leg or whatever just so he can get this guy who cut him up earlier. And it's just a fun little short issue, one story out of chronology with everything else that was going on, and it was just kind of cool seeing that. But at the end of it, he closed because he was just not getting any business, and I don't think he ends up getting the money at the end of this. He ends up closing down the theme park, which is sad because things just aren't going well. And so we come to issue number 13 of Agent X, and we are brought back with, and it even says, "We are back." And it is the team that did the last 5 issues of Deadpool. It's Udon doing the animation, or at least some of them, and it's Gail Simone writing again. So we see this interesting little interlude of someone on a ship coming along, and we're surprised to see, look, it's Black Swan. He's not dead. But how? We'll have to wait a while to find out. So, again, we have way more of this anime style of illustration. So yeah, it is I guess it's the whole Udon team then back to do more of this. So he meets up yet again with Higashi, the guy with they look so similar, shaved head, but with like stylings on them. And Higashi wants him to come with him to this party. He's bothered because he's seeing Higashi's hand on the thigh of Sandy. There's these two very, very anime motorcyclists with like a kitten helmet and a bunny helmet that end up chasing them, and that's kind of the main combat of the thing, is they're fighting while they're driving, and not much else happens other than it's just kind of funny, and Taskmaster and him are arguing. They get to the party, and Alex Hayden's kind of bothered just because Sandy seems like she's trying to sleep with this new guy or whatever, and she kind of just explains, no, that's not the case. So cool. They leave the party. They end up getting home, and the Black Swan has shown up, and he reveals that Deadpool is there, and for no reason, Alex Hayden just shoots Deadpool, and she's like, Wade, no. And so it's to be continued, of course. And we get we have a nice little cold opening for the next issue, and we see Outlaw in Texas at her father's funeral, and flashbacks of her dad helping her with bullies and saving the day, and it's kind of a touching scene. And then this downward angle thing of Deadpool on the ground with a bullet in his head. Um, something, why is he alive? Why is Black Swan alive? There's a lot of conversation going on, and it's finally revealed that Alex Hayden is not Deadpool. Alex Hayden is actually Ninju, or Ninjo, or Nijo. Niju? The guy that he had killed, that Black Swan had killed. So somehow when Deadpool blew up, because of his healing factor, all three of them kind of glued back together with different parts combined. This explains why Alex Hayden was interested in classical music and bothered by poor manners at a restaurant and all of these other things. And Black Swan says he'll set them all straight, but of course, can we really trust this guy? Outlaw shows up. She's not quite into the loop yet. Looks like he's gonna change everything, but really he's just getting powers and picking and choosing which powers he wants, and he's gonna attack Alex, and it looks like he's gonna destroy the day, but of course Deadpool gets up and is like, you forgot about me, and stabs him. So it looks like it's gonna turn out okay. But of course, how could you just have, it's okay at the beginning of an issue? You have to have a bit of a fun flashback, and then actually it's not a flashback. I think it's a dream sequence. And then he wakes up. So Deadpool's back in full swing, and the three of them have to get together to try to stop this guy. And he's powerful mind controller. He can read everyone's mind. So what they end up having to do is one person, Deadpool, has to plan something, but he can't tell them what he's planning. And so in sequence, they all start attacking him and not knowing exactly what order to do it in, but they all start doing that, and he can get blindsided by getting knocked into this truck. And then, of course, the truck is wired with explosives, and Alex Hayden shoots it, blows him up, and saves the day. And then they shoot him a few more times, because gotta make sure, because screw that guy, that Black Swan guy. And, it's this kind of thing where it's like Alex Hayden's scars disappear from his head. Deadpool is back to normal. And there's just kind of this thing where it's like making jokes, and that's how it ends. That's literally how it ends. They were canceled. The end. I wish it were better than that, but yeah, I don't know. I still kind of feel the real ending was way back, a little before issue 64. The final issue of Funeral for a Freak was probably sort of a good place for the story to end, but because that was him getting rid of T-Ray once again. And then, just as a dumb little bonus, and I'm not even going to really go through it, they include the one-shot issue of Fight Man from 1993. And you know what? This just looks awful. So I didn't read it. There's some extra cool stuff, though, if you buy this volume, because it talks about the notes and how difficult it was to do the issues where there was no talking. But, yeah, on a whole, I liked the second half of that run a lot more than the first. And I know that might be a bit controversial, but it might just be because there was a different fresh writer every 10 or 12 issues. I give it a yeah out of... See you next time. Thank you for watching, and as always, stay cuddly.